Hey guys, Christian Jamal here with GenTech. I want to talk to you guys today about the biggest, most booming industry of them all. Is it cryptocurrency? Is it Bitcoin? Is it NFTs? Like, what is it? The truth is that no matter how much hype you see online, the biggest and most booming industry right now for an average person to get into is e-commerce. Between 2020 and 2021, there was a 77% increase in e-commerce sales. Let's just take a second to comprehend what that means. 100% is doubling. So just imagine how many people were buying online in 2020. A whole lot of people, myself included. I don't even go to the mall that much anymore just because everything is available online. So that just doubling in this past year, what is that gonna leave us for in 2022? It's no lie, e-commerce is booming. And how difficult is it to start an e-commerce business? Well, I'm here today to tell you guys the steps you need to take in order to actually take this. Maybe you want it as a side hustle, maybe you want it as a main hustle, maybe you want to quit your job and actually do this full time, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, all you got to do is start. So I'm here to tell you guys how you can actually start taking advantage of this booming industry in 2022. The first thing you need for this is an idea, a problem that needs solution. So you need to think of a solution to your customer base. And then what you need to do is you need to dig deep. You need to really go and figure out who your target audience is and what their problems are. I want to talk to you guys about a research method that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. And I really think it's important for you to be in an industry that you actually enjoy. We are personally in the car industry because we love cars. I love cars, all types of cars, old cars, new cars, fast cars, classics. No matter what it is, at the end of the day, you need to find something you're interested in because that will keep your drive very high when it comes time to actually go through the tougher times. So the first thing you need to do is pick an industry you like and start doing research about the people who are actually wanting more out of that industry. One research method that you can use is actually just talking. With all this marketing stuff going on nowadays, we forget that surveys used to be a thing. And what I mean by surveys, I don't want you to go walk around with a pen and paper and get people's answers for stuff, which, don't get me wrong, you can do that. However, what I'm talking about is joining Facebook groups that are in the industry that you're trying to get into and ask questions, build relationships, trying to figure out what that industry needs, because all industries are being joined by new people on a daily basis now. So what's going to make you different from those other people is that you're actually going to come in with a solution to some of the problems or some of the worries or some of the things that people want in those industries. You see what I'm saying? So let's say you are in the beauty niche. Maybe people are finding that all these influencers are not actually taking care of their customers. Maybe they're not releasing colorways that people want to see or something like that. Again, obviously, I'm not the cosmetics expert, but I'm just giving you an example here. Join Facebook groups that have to do with that. Talk to people, ask questions. One thing that I really do suggest is posting in these groups open-ended questions for people to talk in the comments, because then you can actually survey these comments and replies and kind of figure out what's going on there. Another way you can do it is through TikToks. A lot of controversial TikToks get a lot of traction and a lot of people talking in the comments. That is another way you can actually do some market research. Now, let's say that you actually know the problem you want to solve. Let's say you know the industry you want to get into. What to do next? So, do you want to register an LLC? Sure, I definitely do recommend you to do that. But step one of really starting everything online is really establishing a foundation, is what I like to call it. So creating the Instagram account, creating the TikTok account, Facebook account, business manager, all that stuff. And by the way, if you don't know how to set up any business manager or you don't know how to run advertising, feel free to check out the course in the description section below. I'm not going to get into that too deeply right now, but my point is build your foundation of places where people can connect with you. Don't think that, oh, I only have to be on Instagram, or, oh, Facebook is no longer for younger people, or, oh, TikTok is the next place, means I only need to be there. You really need to be all over the place, because at the end of the day, when you're starting something from scratch, whatever type of business you can get is where the business you want to accept. So you actually want to take that business and develop your company more so that you're able to, over time, have someone manage a platform that, let's say, you're not very comfortable with. But my point is that before I was on Instagram, we tried TikTok, we tried YouTube, we tried a bunch of stuff, and all of those platforms led to us getting more exposure. So the same thing is going to happen to you eventually if you keep consistently posting on multiple platforms and engaging with your audience. The third thing you need to do after you've established your brand identity, your social media platforms, the problem you want solved, and all that stuff, the next thing you want to do is start building a website. And do you need crazy coding experience? Of course you don't. What you have nowadays is another problem that was solved by another person and they became a giant. Companies like Wix, Shopify, WordPress. I personally like Shopify a lot for e-commerce. I like Wix more for service-based businesses because I feel like there's a little more customization there. A lot of people prefer WordPress. I'm not the biggest fan, but again, to each their own. Sign up on these websites. As long as you actually start a website and you actually do some things that, yes, might take a little more effort at the start, but they will go a long way. Things like, for example, having your logo with a translucent background instead of a square around it in the header of your website. Things like taking photos in both vertical and landscape style, just so you can use them in different ways. And one thing that I keep seeing people do as a mistake is care too much about just taking photos of their products on models. So first of all, when it comes to models, you don't need someone on Instagram with 500,000 followers to wear your stuff right off the bat. You can talk to your friends, your family members. A lot of people love to support smaller business. So connect with your close friends and family members and ask them to wear your clothes, give you honest reviews or whatever product that you are using. So create some sort of photo shoot environment. You don't need to rent a studio. You can actually do this at home. I even remember when we first started our business, I wanted a professional profile photo. But I could not even afford to actually go to a studio. So what I did is I just put on my suit. The only wall that was white in my house was even in like my bathroom. So I like cleared out the entire place and I put my phone on a stand, and the stand was made of books, right? So, and I took a bunch of videos and I stopped the video wherever I actually thought that this photo would be good. And I took a screenshot and I used that as my profile photo. That's just to give you an example that you need to get creative when you're first launching. You don't technically have to have a big budget and all this and all that, because again, especially if you're doing this as a side hustle because you need your full-time job, I understand a lot of people don't have a lot of stored income that they can just like dump into their business right off the bat. But I actually think it's even a better way to do it through more hard work at the start, just because now you'll know every little aspect of your business and what it took to solve. So now as you grow and as you hire more team members, you're able to actually reflect back on your solutions and help other people along the way. Again, I did go off on this tangent, but again, point 3 is a website. Again, just go on Shopify, give it a try, build a rough draft. Usually I feel that when I first started, the best website I could get to is either my 3rd or my 4th reiteration of the website. So I did the website at the start, cool, it was great, I loved it, but after 2-3 weeks I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not it for me. Build another one. Websites like Shopify and Wix and WordPress and them, they make the websites so easy to build that you can literally build them out in like 4 or 5 hours, even with no computer or coding knowledge, because it doesn't require any of that. Now getting to my 4th point, which is creating a lot of content and targeting people that are actually interested in that content. So what I mean by that, as a smaller business, sure, you can use hashtags, you can post in Facebook groups, but even posting organically on platforms nowadays can help you get some exposure, because it doesn't actually work the way it used to. So it's not like build it and they will come. It doesn't work like that anymore, especially with, again, like I said, the industry growing by 77%. Everybody should have at least a ton of content that they're able to have on their platform before a client even shows at your door, in a sense that why would someone buy from someone with an Instagram that has 4 posts? It looks like a scam. That is initially like what our mind thinks, even though you might be a fully established business. Having more posts makes you look like your business is older, which gives you more trust. Usually a business running for a longer period of time is more trustworthy than one just started. However, you as an entrepreneur, you need to earn that trust but also creating that sense that you are already established, just so you can get business right off the bat. So now let's say that you have a fully functional business. You have a website, you have an Instagram with content on it, you have stored content for future posts, you have your products in hand. Maybe you don't even have your products in hand, and you're drop shipping, which, by the way, I don't recommend. If you don't know what dropshipping is, I'll just give you a quick rundown. It's that you build the entire business, but you don't have the products. A customer buys, then you go buy it from the supplier, and in terms, you'll link it back to that customer. Supplier ships it directly to the customer. So you don't have products in hand, but you're able to still make sales on these items. Is this a crazy business model that nobody knows? It's very popular nowadays, but I think that the quality does go down. So if your business is aiming to improve quality, because that was a problem that you realized in stage one, then I highly recommend against dropshipping, because again, people know about dropshipping, and if they notice that you're selling a product that isn't branded, they're just gonna go and buy it from the source. Again, I'm not saying everybody knows about AliExpress and Alibaba. I'm just a big fan of making sure that your customers are getting a super high quality service and product. So I definitely recommend you to create your own product. And even if you don't have a huge budget, even having some units in hand might make things a lot better. But let's say now that you have all that set up, what do you do next? Now you need to drive traffic. Now you need people to actually see your stuff. How do you do that? One, we go back to content, post more. Another thing you can do, and obviously is the thing I go to right away, is Facebook advertising, just because, or really any type of advertising, even if you want to use TikTok ads, Instagram ads, whatever, any type of ads, I'm a huge fan of, because that's what I specialize in the first place. And again, if you want to learn that stuff, I'll leave the course in the description below. Make sure to drive traffic, whether it's paid or unpaid traffic, just because you need people to see your stuff. And here is where your entrepreneurial as well as your Facebook or business IQ comes in handy, is looking at analytics, right? Nowadays, we are fortunate enough to start a business and right off the bat know how many visitors we've had on our website, how many people added to cart, how many people checked out. Shopify and these other websites have solved that problem for us, because what you want to do is you want to realize the percentages of people looking at your product versus them actually adding to cart versus them actually purchasing from you. You really want to understand the cycle they're going through. Find where the leak in your boat is and keep patching it up until you have a very solid boat. That's pretty much it. That's my go-to to starting a business in 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Feel free to comment down below what you guys think is the best industry to get into. Again, I love all industries, but I think this is the best thing to do as a beginner in 2022. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.